Ever walked into a room and suddenly couldn't remember what you were doing there, or why you came in at all, or stared at a familiar face and struggled to recall the name? You might brush it off as stress or just getting older. But what if that's not the full story? Most people think dementia starts with memory loss, but the truth is far more complex and far more subtle. The first signs can show up years or even decades before memory problems begin, and they often go unnoticed right in front of us. Right now, over 57 million people worldwide live with dementia. It's the leading cause of disability among adults over 45. Most cases aren't diagnosed until it's too late to slow it down. In this video, we're exposing the facts that often stay hidden. We'll expose the early signs of dementia, the ones doctors, loved ones, and even patients often miss. If you recognize these signs early, you can intervene, adapt, and protect your brain before real damage sets in. Visual and sensory changes. Let's begin with something most people never associate with dementia: your vision. No, not blurry vision from aging eyes. We're talking about how your brain processes what your eyes see. People in early stages of Alzheimer's may find it harder to judge distances. They bump into furniture. They misstep on stairs. Pouring coffee becomes awkward because they can't align the cup properly. This isn't clumsiness, it's cognitive. Your visual cortex, the part of the brain that interprets images, begins to misfire. And then there's facial recognition. You may start struggling to recognize people you've known for years, especially out of context. Even familiar places start to feel unfamiliar, and navigating crowds becomes overwhelming. Another early clue? Your sense of smell. Losing the ability to smell, called anosmia, is one of the first signs of Alzheimer's. It can appear 10 to 20 years before any memory problems start. Hearing changes matter too, not just hearing loss, but the inability to distinguish voices in noisy environments, like restaurants or family gatherings. If someone constantly asks, "What did you say?" or struggles in group conversations, it may not be their ears. It may be early cognitive decline. Muscle and movement impairments. Now let's talk about movement. Most people don't realize that the brain controls every movement, not just memory or speech. If the brain regions responsible for motion begin to decline, the signs appear in small but telling ways. Have you noticed someone start to shuffle when they walk? Or maybe they're taking shorter steps, dragging their feet, leaning more to one side? Those aren't orthopedic issues. They could be neurological red flags. Loss of grip strength is another big one. Struggling to open jars, dropping utensils, fumbling with buttons. Research shows that weakened grip strength in older adults closely correlates with faster cognitive decline. Even the muscles in the face can change. People developing dementia often have a hollow or sunken look in the temples, where a chewing muscle called the temporalis starts to shrink. This change can show up on brain scans before any memory loss happens. These small physical changes point to a bigger problem. Your brain's control over movement is starting to break down. Behavioral and emotional shifts. Have you noticed someone becoming more agitated lately? More restless, easily irritated, or just different? Early dementia doesn't just affect memory, it rewires personality. Some people begin to pace back and forth for no clear reason. Others may fidget constantly, twisting their fingers, tapping, shifting in their seat. They might struggle to sit through a full movie, a dinner, or a conversation. And then there's social withdrawal. Suddenly, the person who loved Sunday dinners no longer wants to come. They skip group events. They say they're tired, but it's not fatigue, it's cognitive overload. Their brain can't handle the stimulation. One warning sign that's often missed is sleep. People in the early stages of dementia may have problems during REM sleep. They might move a lot, act out their dreams, or talk in their sleep. These sleep changes are linked to types of dementia like Lewy body and Parkinson's. If someone's sleep becomes strange or too intense, it shouldn't be ignored. Poor sleep causes brain inflammation and can make dementia worse faster. Cognitive and communication difficulties. Everyone forgets things, But when simple tasks become confusing, like paying a bill, following a recipe, or filling out a form, that's more than forgetfulness. It's an executive function breakdown. These issues are among the earliest functional markers of dementia, and they often come with language problems too. Have you ever heard someone pause mid-sentence, searching for a word they used every day? Or use incorrect words, saying hand clock instead of watch? Or repeat the same idea 3 or 4 times in one conversation? That's not just tiredness. That's aphasia, a breakdown in how the brain processes and produces language. It happens in many forms of dementia, and it's often one of the earliest telltale signs. Physical discomfort and pain. Here's a surprising one: chronic pain. Yes, pain can be a symptom of cognitive decline. People in the early stages may experience general body aches, headaches, or stomach pain, but struggle to articulate what's wrong. Caregivers often describe it as they seem uncomfortable all the time. That's because the brain is struggling to interpret bodily signals correctly. And when pain goes unmanaged, it can lead to mood swings, sleep disruption, and faster cognitive wear. Pain might not be the cause of dementia, but unrelieved discomfort speeds it up. Classic symptoms to watch for. By the time most people are diagnosed, the symptoms are loud and undeniable. Memory loss that disrupts daily life. Confusion about time, place, or even identity. Poor judgment, like giving money to strangers or leaving the stove on. Repeated questions and repetitive speech. Misplacing items in strange places, like shoes in the fridge. Hallucinations, seeing or hearing things that aren't there. Wandering away from home and getting lost. Loss of bladder or bowel control. But by this stage, the brain has already suffered years of damage. The key is spotting the disease long before it reaches this point. Protecting brain health. Can you protect your brain? Absolutely. And the earlier you start, the better your chances. Here's what works. Mental stimulation. Learn new skills, read deeply, play chess, or study a new language. It forces the brain to form new neural pathways, a process called neuroplasticity. Movement. Brisk walking, dancing, resistance training, all of these increase blood flow to the brain and improve connectivity between neurons. Nutrition. Follow the MIND diet, a combination of the Mediterranean and DASH diets. It emphasizes leafy greens, berries, olive oil, fish, whole grains, and nuts. This eating pattern has been linked to a 53% lower risk of Alzheimer's in some studies. It's more than just rest. It's when your brain cleans itself. During deep sleep, the brain clears out harmful waste. If you don't get enough sleep, your brain ages faster. Stress control. Chronic stress shrinks the hippocampus, your brain's memory hub. Meditation, breathing exercises, and nature walks aren't luxuries. They're necessities. And treat medical conditions aggressively. Diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and sleep apnea are directly linked to cognitive decline. Emerging treatments offer hope. Here's the good news. We're entering a new era of dementia treatment. Medicines like lecanemab and donanemab are making a big difference. They go after beta-amyloid plaques, sticky proteins that damage brain cells in Alzheimer's. In medical tests, these drugs helped slow down the disease in people with early symptoms. Even more promising, scientists are now exploring gene therapy, stem cell treatments, and non-invasive brain stimulation. These advances are no longer in the future. They're happening now, and they're most effective when the disease is caught early. Final thoughts. Here's what you need to remember. Dementia rarely begins with memory loss. It starts with a whisper, a change in how you see, feel, move, sleep, or speak. And if you know how to listen, you can catch it early. That awareness, it gives you time to act, time to prepare, time to protect your independence, your relationships, your story. So don't wait for the obvious signs. If this helped open your eyes, share it. Someone you love may already be showing signs and not even know it. And for more science-backed health breakdowns that actually help, hit that subscribe button because your future self deserves the strongest brain possible.